47th Parliament of Australia will officially open as the government prepares to begin enshrining its election mandates into law. But Anthony Albanese is already facing clashes on multiple fronts. The Greens threatening to use their power in the Senate to reject Labor's emissions target, and the construction industry unhappy about a move to neuter the industry watchdog.
Old and new faces coming together in Canberra. The Prime Minister revving up his troops ahead of the first week of Parliament for an Australian Labor government in almost a decade.
There are many people who've been here for a while without having sat on a different side of the chamber. And believe me, as someone who's done both, one is a lot better than the other.
But the battle for the new government will be fought in the Senate. Anthony Albanese wants to enshrine his 43% emissions reduction target by 2030.
We often came to the Parliament without much to do in terms of an agenda before the Parliament. This Labor government will not be like that, and we've hit the ground running.
But the Greens, who hold the balance of power, are holding out. Leader Adam Bandt is driving negotiations with the government, demanding flexible legislation that can't be weaponised in the future, and a halt on any new coal and gas projects across the country.
You can't put the fire out while you're pouring petrol on it.
Potential kingmaker David Pocock also wants stronger emissions targets, but says something needs to be written into law now.
For me, it's about the integrity of that target. Get something in place, have some certainty.
Meanwhile, the government has already made the first move in its election pledge to abolish the country's building and construction watchdog, stripping away the powers of the Australian Building and Construction Commission to the bare minimum. The regulatory changes, which come into effect from Tuesday, drawing quick criticism from the coalition and some on the crossbench.
When we are just coming out of COVID-19, why would the Australian Labor Party take this step and literally destroy the construction industry in Australia?
Industry leaders are also calling for clarity about what regulations the construction sector will be operating under into the future.
The removal of the building code, of the components of the building code, is all about giving the unions carte blanche to go in and dictate what happens on building sites.
Parliament's first sitting day on Tuesday will be full of pomp and ceremony, ahead of a busy fortnight in which the government hopes to introduce up to 18 pieces of legislation. But there'll be one less familiar face. Scott Morrison says he won't be in Parliament until August. Joel Philp, Sky News, Canberra.